Globally, the competition for military supremacy is intensifying. The generals want the tech, and the big defence contractors want the cash. They've already weaponized the buzzwords AI, autonomy, and targeting networks. And right now, the technology really hogging the limelight is the type that doesn't need a crew and can be controlled remotely. Drones have become very versatile and have a lot of uses on the battlefield, and they're being discussed to the point of distraction. Still, that's how the UK has chosen to headline its new defence investment plan, as a £5 billion bet on uncrewed systems. So is Britain setting itself up to be at the forefront of a digital and autonomous warfare revolution, or could this expensive gamble end up hobbling the armed forces? From the front line to its strikes deep inside Russia, it's Ukraine that has elevated drone warfare into the deadly powerhouse that it is today. They've taken a long-established principle that control of the air can equate to victory, and they've achieved that without risking pilots over enemy territory. And the Russians have innovated too. Their aerial control of great swathes of eastern Ukraine has created sterile zones where anyone who moves can be killed with the press of a button. Let's talk about drones. They're so deadly and numerous that Ukraine is keeping the human crews that operate them well back from the front lines. In their place, a robotic revolution. Uncrewed ambulances and remote-controlled assault vehicles are now often doing the heavy lifting. And if you look at Ukraine and the way Iran has been fighting recently, it proves that a basic craft built for a single purpose, be that striking an oil refinery or clearing a trench, is far simpler and more affordable than the type of piloted fighters or tanks traditionally bought by the West. Add in more advanced functions to the simple machines being used in Ukraine, and the bill goes up.
Early today, Russia got hammered by Ukraine, the largest attack on the capital city of Moscow since Russia invaded its neighbor more than 4 years ago.
Ukraine can hit Moscow with drones that cost £100,000 a pop. But if you want a cruise missile that flies faster and is stealthier to do the job, immediately you're spending over £1 million per missile. Or if you want a reusable aircraft that can orbit over a battlefield for hours, carry a variety of weapons, and have its own sensors for hunting targets, for that there's the American Reaper or British Protector, for example. They are drones too, but will cost you £30 million. And if you want to make that as survivable as an F-35 fighter, with stealth technology, in-flight refueling and high manoeuvrability, you might add many millions more per jet to the cost. So Britain's new approach is the recently revealed Stormfighter. It's designed to have some of the F-35's capabilities at a price, and this is optimistic, of £25 million each. This is why one strategy that's being adopted is to unbundle the distinct missions and capabilities of traditional ships and planes. The aim is to leverage new technology and ideally cut costs. This concept is known as disaggregation. Central to Britain's new blueprint is the incorporation of much more autonomy in the Royal Navy. A conventional warship has lots of sensors with weapons to meet different missions: anti-surface, anti-air or submarine hunting. The Royal Navy's Type 45 air defence destroyers cost £1 billion each. So the consequences of losing one supership like that can be huge. Originally, the Royal Navy intended to replace its Type 45 air defence destroyers with a new one called the Type 83 destroyer. The Royal Navy's new plan is that now, instead of building those at a cost of at least £2 billion per ship, they'll split apart its functions into a fleet of specialised vessels. There will be 6 motherships that will be designed to support fleets of smaller specialised vessels. Those could include radar vessels, missile barges carrying long-range weaponry, a submarine detecting boat, or uncrewed submersibles. It's easy to see some advantages with this approach. Take the missile barge. If it fires off all its weapons, it can then go off to rearm while the censorship maintains its watch forward, giving uninterrupted coverage even during that resupply. And the individual parts of this system will surely come in well below the cost of a Type 83 destroyer. But add them all together and the bill could be quite high. On top of that, the new hybrid fleet has to be ready to go into service in 2035, when the Type 45 destroyers will be withdrawn from the fleet. 9 years might sound reasonable enough, but the Navy's new anti-submarine frigate was first ordered 16 years ago. And although this first one, HMS Glasgow, is now on trials, it still hasn't entered service. With this new model, if one part of your new hybrid fleet, say a simpler one like the missile barge, is ready to enter service years before the other ones, what happens? Or an enemy disrupts the data links between these vessels. Doesn't that hobble the whole system? Many within the forces are hoping that one upside will be the division of warship design across several separate vessels will liberate them from the control of major defence contractors. These traditional so-called prime contractors, giants of the defence industry, integrate all the components on a single ship, but are frequently blamed for escalating costs and scheduling delays. So doing things differently, replacing the planned Type 83 ships with up to 5 variants, can help the Navy boost its ship numbers. But it means taking a big risk with the technology. If you get rid of the old prime contractor, who will pull all of these different vessels together, making sure that they work as one integrated system? So for this country, the big question is what the right mix should be between these new weapons and old-style piloted or crewed ones. Britain says it will spend an additional $5 billion on uncrewed weaponry over the next 4 years. What do they hope to buy? A new way of doing business with emerging contractors making drones, for one thing, and weapons like warships and planes that need fewer, expensively trained people in order to operate them. Look at the new Storm Shroud. This uncrewed aircraft reveals the path forward, a low-cost method for neutralizing enemy air defenses without putting a single pilot in the line of fire. But, and there is a but, for lots of reasons, fighter jets with pilots are not going away just yet. And staying in that business requires stealth technology and huge spending. So one of the other things that's been spelled out by the new British Defence Investment Plan is that it allocates £8 billion for the new piloted jet, the Tempest fighter, £3 billion more than on those drone investments. So even with air power, Britain and other Western countries are not going to put all of their eggs in the drone or uncrewed systems basket. In fact, the money being allocated to that is a fairly small fraction of the hundreds of billions to be spent on defence over the next few years. But in some areas, for example those Royal Navy plans for warships with very small or no crews at all, there could be big changes. And it'll be there that we get the first sense of whether the gamble to shift money to these new technologies will pay off or turn into a fiasco.